All righty. We are recording. We're here. All right. So it's only fitting that I am wearing exercise clothes on the day we teach about exercise. And what I've got for you today is really helping you to get past the normal. I want you to tell you normal resistance to exercise. Most times when we try to do new things or make decisions towards our health, or our brain really gets in our way, and it always will lend to the negative. And I don't know why it doesn't support us in the, oh no, you don't have time for that, keeps coming up, or don't, you're tired, roll over, go back to sleep. I don't know why our brain doesn't help us in this effort to do things that are good for us, but we need to get to the bottom of it, and that's what we're going to do in today's class. So I have a very, very different philosophy around exercise, and it came from my own experience. I have had quite a journey around working out, as I did around food. And what I'm going to teach today is kind of helping you to get kind of bypass your brain. Like, let's just leave the negative thoughts alone and ignore them, but in a way that kind of serves you and is kind of fun. So, and I'm also writing the podcast on this today, so I know the class will help me in kind of sorting through what to do and kind of how to move through this resistance. So, in this class series, I've already covered intuitive eating and the hunger scale and fuel eating. And many people, I don't talk about exercise very often. It's a given for me in my life that I move, and I move pretty consistently. Um, but why don't we? And I would say the biggest thing that comes up for everyone is time. And it's simply the thought, if we think the thought, I don't have time, it feels really like, I don't know about you, but think about when you think that thought, just say it, I don't have time. I step back and I don't look for any ways of figuring that out. I just give up. It's like we're a victim of our own thinking or philosophy or our schedule. And so, like, know that that's just what your brain is defaulting to some of the thoughts that you have around exercise. Another thing I see, especially in the space of top achievers, is that we are so focused on great results that when we're not doing things to a really awesome level, we become all or none about it. So we want success so badly, and we give ourselves so many kudos for success, that we literally only do it when we have a lot of time or when we're doing it well. And then if we knock ourselves off or we don't think it's that great, we just don't do it at all. And it really creates, when we see exercise as an achievement, or as like, we're so good because we're at moving or whatever it is, it's great to applaud yourself for running and for having great goals around, like, I've done races. I did the breast cancer walk. I walked 65 miles in one weekend. And I trained for a year, and I think a year for that. And, that was a journey in itself. So those things are still fun and great and help us get towards our goals. But so many times when we're not doing them at a like fabulous level, then we just don't do them. So we don't really have time not to. I could list the benefits over and over and over for exercise physically, but I think we need to remind ourselves why in a very personal way, why we exercise. For me, I really noticed, I had a girlfriend that shared this with me a long time ago. It was actually when I was in perimenopause, so I was quite like an emotional bag of, like, it was a mess. And she would like, have you walked at all this week? And it'd be like, no. And she goes, that makes you feel better. Like, and I was like, oh yeah. So I know that exercise for me really helps balance my emotions. And Monday is like, except for when I go to Monday Night Football or have a meeting, I always work out on Monday. I set my week off that way. And I put a lot of pressure on myself as I roll into my work week. And so Monday is a no-brainer because of the stress. So I know for me, it's a really great emotion balancer. And exercise does that biologically. Another is that it does keep our metabolism humming. When we have more muscle, when we are moving more often, we are jacking up our metabolism and disrupting any of that couch potato syndrome. It helps our joint health. It helps bone density. It helps heart health. There's all those reasons. But really remember, like, as you're watching this video, what is it for you? Why do you love to move? What are some of the physical benefits, emotional benefits to moving for you? And remember those every time your brain offers that it's too early to get up or you don't have time after work. And it's like, no, 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 interrupt that brain's natural way of going to negativity. I want to share one more thing. And Ramona, do you have time to share with us? I love your journey around exercise. You've been really creative around the way you move. Do you mind sharing with us why you move?
Well, I think it's really important to find something that you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't enjoy it, then you just won't do it.
Yeah.
And I try to remind myself sometimes that even if I'm just taking a 10 or 15-minute walk, I'm doing at least something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something is better than nothing.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what I'm going to get at today. So you've been a good student of that. And I think you had that, like, before we even met, I like the stories that Ramona and I met in a Weight Watchers meeting when I was a leader. And, your stories around movement were always great examples for me to share with the meeting. So I love when we've had that journey where we've had some really positive experiences around it. And I do think that that's the case, that we are not doing things we love to do. We're doing things we feel like we have to do. And that's in the email that you've received, if you're watching these on recording, or if you need I'm going to be sharing this video in a lot of spaces. If you want the worksheet to walk through this, of really getting beyond your own thinking, kind of make this something you want to do instead of feeling like you should, that is what I'm going to share in a worksheet. Our results, and I want to share my story because I didn't really understand this until I became a coach, or was beginning to think about coaching. Our belief around exercise will always create our results. So whatever you believe, and I teach the thought model all the time. So exercise is our circumstance. We're thinking about it. We're deciding what to do about it. And the circumstance, the fact is exercise is important, or, we want to do it, but the thoughts around it create our results. So for me, you work out to lose weight. It's the only reason I thought people worked out, because that was the only reason I ever worked out when I was all through my early marriage, in college. The only time I moved or was consistent was to lose weight. But what does that create? Like, think about that. Like, that whole journey, that belief. So I would only be motivated when I was heavy. So this thought model is not like, but that belief, you only work out to lose weight. So I would wait until I was heavy, and then I would I would get motivated only when dieting. And that's almost my action line. That was the only time I ever took action towards moving. And so my results in this were that I was an all or none, a yo-yo, not only a yo-yo dieter, right? But I was a yo-yo exerciser. So whatever you believe the purpose of exercise is for will create a gamut of thoughts that will create how that looks in your life. And so it's important, and I want you guys, if you're listening to this, to really decide what you truly think now about activity. Because it's like, oh, I only think it's for heart health, and I just got this great report from my doctor, so I'm fine. Like, right? It's just any of those sneaky little ways that our brain goes. There are a lot of other beliefs I hear when I work with clients, and one of them is it has to be hard. It has to be every day. I have to do this. It really revolves around all these other, again, like what I've been doing through this whole series. It really works around all the beliefs and what we think. And if we create all these shoulds and this pressure, we're going to resist it. So when you think, I should exercise, Ramona, you're going to help us be our model student today. When you think the thought, I should do something, how does that make you feel?
Pressured.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Pressured. And what was the second word?
uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. And when you feel pressured and uncomfortable, how do you act?
I want to escape.
Yes. And that's why we don't work out, right? We want to escape it. And what's really interesting, and I just thought of this right now, and I think this is really, I want you listening, all of you on this recording. We will escape the workout, but we're really just escaping the thought. Our brain offers this thought: you should work out every day. It should be hard. You should go right now. You should. And even if we have planned, and even if we wanted to that day, and we were, we have a lot of resistance to going that day or getting our clothes on. And that's because our brain is offering you should, creates discomfort, creates resistance. And we think, and literally, I know this has happened to me, we think that canceling the workout, it does give us instant relief. It literally does, because of what our brain offered, all this discomfort, we're getting rid of the comfort. But we bagged the exercise. We escaped what we really wanted to do for our bodies. So if we can be onto our brains, and this is what I do with clients, be onto your brain, because it doesn't always serve us. It needs managing. Can you see how our brain needs managing? And I have some hacks for you. I love this part. So again, if we believe it has to be hard when it's not hard, we won't do it. If we believe it has to be every day and we're traveling on an airplane at 5 a.m, we're going to literally not do it. And good morning, Bridget. You're catching the most important part. I want you to go back and listen to this video. This is so cool. So Bridget, what I was offering, and for all those on video, I repeat for the people that show up. So remember, showing up is awesome. So Bridget, what I was sharing is that what we do in exercise is that we create a lot of shoulds around it. And what just came, oh, no worries about being late. You're here. I like, no big deal. I'm glad you're here. Saw you in the chat. But what I want to just reframe, and this is a repeat for the video watchers, but I want you to hear this. We create so much resistance, and we think the relief is canceling the exercise, but that's just, we're canceling the exercise is just not thinking that thought anymore. We're getting relief from the thinking of the should. We're not getting relief because we dropped the workout. And I don't know about you, but when I'm in that battle in the morning about working out and whether I should hit the pause button on the alarm, I feel a lot of relief when I make a decision not to go. Isn't that fascinating? When I really wanted to, and by 3 p.m. in the afternoon, I'm mad I didn't. So this is like, our brain does like really needs managing in this situation. So our brain offers so many shoulds. And that's what I want you guys, both of you that are on the line today and anybody listening, pause the video, get a tablet out. And I want you to write down every should you have in your brain about working out. For me, it should be very sweaty, very hard. I still have some things that kind of get in my way. So sometimes I don't gently go walk when that's all I have accessible to me, because I have the should. It should be hard, sweaty. You should do it at the gym. Now, I do that plenty of times during the week, but they're closed this week. In fact, I'm missing my favorite class this morning because they're on a trip, my trainers. So list down all those shoulds. We all have them. Now, because that creates so much resistance, I want you to crumple up, and literally, I want you to crump up your should list. That is not serving us. These shoulds are not inspired. They aren't what our body is trying to tell us and inspire us in terms of taking action. And this activity, Bridget, I did this with you at Vistage. This activity is just one of the most, motivating things that I do. And I'm going to do it around my business today. And make my to-do list for next week. I write down all the shoulds, and then I go, oh, what do I want to do? What are some scary steps? What are some brave things that I want to do? So it really helps hack what our brain is offering. So if it creates resistance, how do we get out of it? We ask, what do you want to do around exercise? And you can participate in the chat or speak up. I've got 2 phone people today, Bridget, you and Ramona, so feel free to speak up. But what are things you want to do around exercise? These are what's coming up for me because I really want to get in the fresh air. It's finally fall here. Yoga and weightlifting. In the next few days, I want these things to happen. I missed some classes this week, and those are really the things I really want to do. Do you guys have any? I'm going to participate in the chat. What are things you want to do around activity?
I guess what I want to do around activity is do something regularly. It seems like my activity is just kind of sporadic. Or maybe I'm just not giving myself enough credit for actually, making sure I do, walk, which I do that regularly. But I often feel like, well, walking is just really nothing.
Right. So see how you just got onto your brain there, Ramona? Like you did share with me it was sporadic, but then you said, oh, but I'm discounting the walking, and that's what, like, this is that all or none thing that we become these achievers of the things that we want to do in our life. And then when we discount all the things that we are doing. Why do you feel like you're sporadic in what is sporadic? Tell me about that.
Well, I guess I just don't have anything that's really on a regular schedule, except for things associated with, the walking that I do associated to work. And there are certain times that I walk going back and forth to work and get some extra exercise. But other than that, I don't have anything written on a calendar.
Yeah. And that's one of my suggestions, that we honor our appointment, our date with exercise. And when we start using words like that, my date around hike air, like I'm already thinking about maybe getting in the car, like packing as fast as I can this afternoon because I'm on my way to the mountains, and really doing that this afternoon, even though I'm tired, because I'm craving this. Like, I can't wait. And I'm already seeing my energy going like, oh, I really want to make a commitment to that today instead of waiting till tomorrow. Maybe I'll even hike twice. We've got some really easy trails around us that are fun. I know I'm going to yoga tomorrow morning. I go every Saturday morning in the mountains, a really cool class. But it's like looking at what you're yearning. What are some things you're yearning to do that you're not doing right now? What are you missing?
I think I miss that good feeling that you have after you're done exercising.
Yeah. And so I just think it's like pick 2 or 3 things you want to do and get them on your calendar. Don't discount the walking. That's a great baseline. That's so good for us. That is like, I discounted. I was a runner and I cannot run because of some twinges, nerve stuff in my back. It just isn't good for me. But then I discount the walking. I really discount it. It's like, wait, you could go do a 2-mile walk to the duck pond this morning. How fun would that be, right? Go walk to get coffee at Starbucks. I live in an area that I can do that. And I discount it. So that's where we really have to be onto our brain. So that definitely making a want list, even things. I had a client that loved kayaking. Bridget, mountain biking. That sounds like intense. That sounds really dangerous. I love that. But like, that's where we get those things on the calendar. And that really is like perfect example. We can't go mountain biking in the city of Atlanta right now, right? And there are easy trails. I love it. So it's really just getting out in the fresh air like I do with hiking. Thanks for communicating with me on chat. All right. So anybody in the future, like you're listening to this video, if you can't participate on video, please know you can be in the chat box with me and I can answer your questions. So it really is, do you see how we have this desire to move? I think we kind of squash it down. And when we get really quiet with ourselves and honor what we want and get it on the calendar, it makes such a difference. And then noticing what happens in those moments. So when you have a day that you can do something more, when we have a day that we can really work out what's going on in your brains, both of you, and I'll share mine, that prevents you from taking action on it. What comes up in that moment of deciding whether to go to a dance class or go walk or go pick up our weights and do a class? What stops you?
the other work that I have to do or the other obligations that I have.
Yeah. So it either is a thought like work is more important. If I don't get that done, you know, like what is coming up for you in that moment? Is it that work's more important, or I'll just do this first?
It's more like work is more important, or,
Yeah.
you know, whatever task it is. And if I don't
Yeah.
do this task now, then I'm going to have to do it at a time when I really don't want to do it.
Right. And that can be true, right? Like that we don't want to do it later. But what's fascinating is that we put our health on the back burner all the time. And so many times when we put it on the front, like I notice on mornings that I work out at 6 a.m. and this is not my ideal, like for me, I actually may be switching it to this because the energy and clarity I feel the rest of the day is very different. When I honor that that's the only time I have to work out and I go ahead and work out and then I feel, you know, feel fabulous. And what we're saying in our mind is that the work is more important than our health, which is a lie, right? I think that's a lie for me. Work is never more important than taking care of myself, right? But it's hard when our brain offers that. Now, yeah, I have too much work to do. I have to meet tax deadlines, so that will have to wait. And so we always put the back burner. I'm just going to use the thought, work is more important. And our brain is offering that we can't do both, by the way. That like, and there's a lot of thought work that we're doing here in this thing. In consults, I slow down, and in coaching, we'll slow down and work on just one. But I want to offer some opportunity to do some self-coaching here, because really, is work more important than your health? And are you serving the work that you're doing by always choosing work first? Because it's our brain is offering that if we get that done first, it's going to be better. But I want to offer, try the other. If I work out first, my work will be better. Can you see how that, even changing a new thought is, if I move, I'm going to just do move first, my work will be better. And you might have other thoughts that work for you. For me, I know my energy will be better if I move in the morning. And I'm in a new place. I'm starting to get up at 5:40 in the morning, do a lot of work, but I find myself getting very sluggish trying to do some writing, and I'm realizing I really need to do some like fiery yoga, even if it's 5-10 minutes, or get really grounded before I do that, so that my brain is kicked in. Because my work will be better if I move first or get really engaged, get my blood moving. Because if we always think like, I don't have time, how do you feel? Bridget, if you can play with me here on the chat. Yeah, and Bridget offers, like, until the last 2 weeks, I was going to move at 4 and then going back to work. And I think we have to, it's tricky. Morning workouts do work like best for a lot of us because we get it out of the way and it's hard to break. But I know evening workouts are my gig. I love it. I love the classes I go to, so I honor that. But there's some nights that it doesn't happen. You're going to have to do the work, Bridget, if it's at 4 p.m. and it gives you more stimulation for the rest of the night, which might be fabulous for you. I did this in school. When you have a heavy workload, sometimes this is better than a cup of coffee. But you're going to have to honor 4 p.m. like an appointment with a client. How does that feel? If you honored exercise, even for a half an hour. Oh, hired a trainer. Yes. So there's does natural accountability. I have a class that if I cancel late, it'll cost me $20. I love it. And it's not a punishment. It's just like I make a commitment to do something ahead of time and I always go. So really honor these ways that you want to do it and let the mind chatter go to the side. Choose different ways to think. If I move first, if I honor my workout at 4 p.m., I know my work is going to go better. I'm going to be able to handle my workload. We're making time. I'll make time to work out. One tricky way on the time issue that I have offered clients that I think is a lot of fun. Let's see. If I did have time, when would I? And it's hacking that I don't have time causes us to sit back and not get creative. But if I did have time, what would I do and when would I do it? And get creative with sneaking it in, like you learned with the 4 p.m. break. This really is like the 15-minute sneak, the getting weights out the minute you get home from work and doing some weight work. When can I sneak? This is a good question. But when can I sneak it in? And if we're all or none, this will really break the all or none. Because if we're all or none, we think we need an hour, hour and a half. And now we can say, when can I sneak it in? And we'll look for opportunities. Any thoughts or questions, you guys? I don't want to go much longer, but I have a challenge. And I think this is for all of us, including me. I need this because my trainers went on a trip. Yeah, I try to combine it with family time. Very important. And that's what comes from the want list. Like I've had clients that thought they should run. They should be in a gym every day. They should CrossFit. They have children and they don't do anything. And I'm like, well, what do you want to be doing? I want to be playing with my kids. I'm like, then go play with your kids. That's your activity. Start bike riding as a family. Start taking walks after dinner. And there might be a few other things that you add so you have strength and all those kind of things. But if we combine it with our family time, we hit our agendas. We're doing what we want to do. It's very easy then to take action on it. So I have a 7-day challenge. I'm going to join you guys on this challenge because my trainers went out of town and I realized this morning as I woke up that I've been on my feet all week. I've had a very busy full week, but most of that is at my desk. And the last time I worked out was Monday night. Had an event Tuesday and Wednesday through Friday, they were out of town. So I let that be my excuse that I'm not moving. That's crazy. And I know I don't feel as good when I do that. It's probably why I feel a little groggy this morning. So the challenge is this 7-day challenge. Choose a rest day. That's the first thing. Choose a rest day. Commit to 6 days of moving, no matter what. And refer to your list. Refer to your wants. Do anything you want for 15 minutes minimum every day. Just 15 minutes. Our biggest problem is this all or none. It has to be a lot. And the sneaking it in can really help us get started because the biggest problem is getting started. And on those weeks, Bridget, that you don't have a trainer, this is an opportunity for us to really, and Ramona, this is an opportunity to plug in something else. The walks really count, but this might be where you do 15 minutes of something else 6 days. Commit to 6 days of moving, refer to your list, play around, make it fun. And why? Create a routine of following through. Create a routine, even if you don't have your trainer, like me, create a routine of following through. So no matter what happens, I'm going to make sure I walk my mountains even for 15 minutes this afternoon, if not something more. And then tomorrow, and then the next day. And it really, I know it's going to make a difference for me. I need to figure out some other backup plans for my gym when I have meetings, because I can break in the middle of the day sometimes. Learn to reward yourself for following through. So 6 days, 15 minutes, and reward. This is what we never do. So think of some quick, fun rewards, things that you don't let yourself do unless you're done with work. And I want you to start doing this for yourself now. A quick call with a friend, read a book, light a candle, it could be very yummy. It can be eat on your deck. It can be deliberately do something, a hot cup of tea. This sounds very female focused, but I coach men that it's like, this is take that break and go watch the game. Take that break and go watch a show. Reward yourself with something that you withhold from yourself and turn this into a yummy reward system. And it will create a routine of doing things for yourself. Now, if you do this every day, the 6 days, this is like where you go buy a new book for yourself. This is like you do an all-in. I did the movement challenge. I got through all the resistance. I did this 6 days. 15 minutes seems small, but I did it. And then reward yourself with something bigger at the end of the week. What are you going to have to do this? I know for me, getting started is the hardest part, but my calendar runs my life. So I will literally open my calendar and not work out or work out based on what's on there. Literally. So if there's a meeting at 6, I don't work out. That's crazy. I need to look for a backup plan. But if I am working out, that 6 p.m. workout, I plan them way ahead. I love doing that. But there are weeks I need a backup plan. So that's going to be my work. So calendarize. Get that this date is as important as a meeting with a client. And that's where we start bucking that work is more important than our health. Set your closeout, call about classes, find other ways that you can get active that you want to do. Start a dance class. Of course, I'm thinking of Ramona here. Do things that you love. Set out a video that have a note to yourself when you walk in the door that you're going to do the online yoga class. And I have some suggestions. Yoga with Adriene is one of the soundest, neatest online yoga programs. And I know there's others, but she has been just amazing. And she had a YouTube channel, and you can go online and be in a membership with her if you really like what she has, which is a lot of free stuff. And just go. Even if it's 10 p.m. and you didn't do your 15 minutes, this is like those people that do 10,000 steps and they realize at the end of the day that they didn't get them done. Be that crazy person. And at 10 p.m., go take a 15-minute walk. Go walk the stairs in your house if you don't want to be outside in the dark. Do it. And listening to your body after you move, not the conversation before. Listen to how much your body, like Ramona, you hit it. You feel fabulous after you work out. All of us do. And if we can make more memory and solidify that memory, we will want to do it more. Like on my very tired nights, my very frustrating work days, the last thing I feel like doing is working out in terms of really going upstairs and putting my clothes on. But what I'm always focused on is seeing my friends and kind of letting loose with them, because we get kind of silly. We all know each other really well. And I can kind of let my hair down per se. And that's part of it. It's an emotional thing. And it's like, I know I'm going to feel amazing after that workout. And that's what we create. Do you guys have any questions? Oh my gosh, Bridget has a mini trampoline, and if you haven't met your 10K steps, you do it. You've got this, Bridget. Go. You've got this moving thing. I think we need to remind ourselves what we are doing. This is so important. I can, be on myself about not working out on Monday, but I'm a really consistent exerciser. I am experiencing what I call compounding results. I have, at the minimum, done 2 big workouts a week. And big, I work out with 30-year-olds. I'm so proud of myself. But it started from a journey of just stretching. I gave myself room to just start it slow because I wanted to be that 90-year-old in the gym. And that was changing from my belief that you only worked out when you were heavy. And so, or like when you needed to lose weight. And it was like, wait, I've lost the weight. Now what do I do? I'm like, oh, I want to be the 90-year-old in the gym. So I can't be the 90-year-old in the gym on the day I turn 90. I need to be the woman in the gym now so that I'm always active up until my later years. All right. Start listening to your body afterwards. Do what you want. 15 minutes a day for 6 days out of 7. And on the Facebook, my Diana Murphy Coaching business page, I'm going to post, I'll probably post some videos of when I get it done. So converse with me there. And I love that you guys were on. Any more questions before I go? All right. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. I really, really appreciate it. You benefit from it. And I would just want to say that to video watchers. I've got 3 more classes next week. And if you're watching it before they happen, the times will be in your email. And when you show up, you will get change. You will get coached. You will get some insight, and it will make a difference. Everybody have a great day. Anything else?
Thank you.
Oh, you're always welcome, Ramona. I love that you show up for yourself here. It's fun always to see you. Ramona, how long have we known each other now? 5 years?
Oh yeah, at least.
At least.
Yeah.
Weight Watcher days. I love it. I am just so thrilled that we've stayed connected. All right. And my new friend, Bridget, so good to see you here again. All right. You guys take care. Share with your friends. Let them know we've got another week. We're going to talk about stress, fear, and all sorts of things of what gets in our way of our health. All right. Bye. Have a great weekend, all of you.